Hey folks, this is Vint with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly check out The Crust. This is a game that you can currently find on Steam's Early Access program for about 30 bucks or so. When I stress Early Access, that means everything that you're about to see is subject to change. There is a demo, so if you like what you see, you can try out the game first before you buy it. So this is one of those city builders of sorts, and I hesitate to use the word city builder. You're not going to be creating residential zones or anything like that. Rather, you're going to be, well, on the surface of the moon and under the surface of the moon, creating various structures, and you're going to be eventually mining resources and automating things. And the whole story is, the tutorial will guide you through, okay, you've gotten to the moon, and let's set up our first connection, it'll teach you the ropes, but then the tutorial ends and then catastrophe happens, and that's where the campaign starts you off on it. Now it's your job to sort of see who survived this catastrophe and then slowly rebuild over time. And there's a lot to do here. The tech tree is huge, which you'll see in a little bit. But I was interested in the story, not so much the dialogue. One of the main characters, this lady, just continuously bashes men every chance she gets. So it turned me off. Anyway, she just sounded so full of herself. But anyway, getting back to the actual gameplay, kind of like in Satisfactory, you will have to connect everything via power cables, and different structures and power towers, whatever, can hold so many connections. So, you have to sort of like strategize, like, okay, I should probably put this pole here, and then from there I can branch it off this way, but I can't connect any more things to it, so maybe I daisy chain it this way. So there is some strategy in the way that you connect everything with electricity. And you're going to be using solar, at least in the beginning of the game, and batteries in order to store it, because there is like a day and night cycle, but not in the traditional sense, because this is the moon, not Earth. So, the length of time at which it's dark and light will change depending on, Earth and moon are obviously different that way. But anyway, once you get underground, you can hit tab to just cycle through the surface and the underground. You'll be able to assign your drones to either construction, or you can assign them to mining. And there's a building where you can convert them, either or. And you're going to be gaining resources, and you can even dig out the areas in order to get more of like a basic resource, which can be refined into a number of different things. But eventually you're going to want to start automating that, and you can put like refineries down, or extractors down rather, on top of deposits. Again, very similar to Satisfactory. Satisfactory obviously is more first person. This game is like, top down kind of thing. But you're going to be creating at some point conveyor belts and storage areas. There is, again, limited dialogue importance here. In some situations, I got to choose between, like, do this or this, and doing this is normal difficulty, and doing this is a higher difficulty. The one was a work in progress, so I didn't choose that one, I chose the other one. So it looks like down the line they will be introducing, like, different, I guess, goals throughout the story, and depending on your choices, it'll make the game easier or harder. So, that's cool. As I said earlier, the tech tree is fairly huge. There's 3 different tabs. There's fundamental, engineering, and social. And by earning like blue beakers, orange beakers, and green beakers, you'll be able to, over time, unlock all of these things. And it's not like Factorio where you have to produce these beakers, at least based on what I've seen so far. This seemed to be like passive income from doing various things, so I was earning a passive income of these 3 color beakers and researching things over time. And eventually, like I said, you're going to be building conveyor belts, but I will warn you, and this is something the game doesn't really tell you, once you connect via conveyor belt, your drones will no longer feed the production building manually. If it's not connected via conveyor belt, the drones will feed it manually. But once you connect it via conveyor belt, it won't. So I was wondering, well, how come my production of steel is slowing down? I was barely moving. Here I wasn't, producing enough via the extractor, but I had all this other resource laying around from digging out walls that my drones weren't utilizing. So I actually built another producer that wasn't connected to a conveyor belt, and my production was sped back up again. There is like a world map, kind of like in Frostpunk, where you can send your rover around to do things. You'll need different vehicles to transport or to investigate and do different jobs. And this is a first impressions video because I got only so far. I ran into some optimization issues, some slowdowns, and I'm at the point now where I'm just like, nah, I'm enjoying myself, but at the same time, I'm kind of annoyed by certain things. Like, in order to repair the current objective, I have to wait until I have all of that resource instead of the drone slowly dropping that resource off over time. I still recommend you try out the demo anyway to see if this game interests you at all. I think it's good, but at the same time, it could be better, and it is early access. So that's why I said this is an impressions video, and I'll wait and see how this progresses over time. But the Crust, this is Vince. Thanks for watching. Catch y'all next time. Take care.